All right, and we are back. Sorry about that. We dropped our live stream for some reason. We're not sure what happened. It must have been on our end. So we're going to assume that you guys haven't heard about me talking about the Ashcroft Pool, so I'm going to go back to that story. So the Ashcroft Pool will be open Saturday, July 4th. The Ashcroft Pool will be open for public swimming on July 4th. New rules and guidelines will be in place to ensure health and safety within the COVID-19 pandemic. Risk of transmission through swimming pools is and remains low. Follow the Ashcroft Pool and Park Facebook page and Instagram page for more info for the new safety guidelines, schedules, fun updates, and more. And there is a job posting for the pool. So the Village of Ashcroft job posting is for a lifeguard, and the required qualifications are your National Lifeguard Service or NLS Award, Red Cross Aqua Leader Certificate, CPR Certificate, and the job, what you'll be doing is chemical testing, pool monitoring, safety procedures, cleaning, and concession. Sales are all part of the lifeguard's job description along with other duties as required. The rate of pay is $18.44 per hour, and this position runs from the first week of July through to Labor Day. Hours of work vary from approximately 24 to 32 hours per week, and qualified individuals are invited to submit their resumes and the dates they are available for employment by 4 p.m. on June 24th, 2020. You can send those into the village office. Copies of all current qualifications must be included with your resume, and a criminal record check will be required after the employment is made. Also, if you do not get contacted, it means that they went another way, but they thank you for your interest on that. And there is actually another job posting in the Village of Ashcroft currently for a summer employment position in Parks Maintenance. So the Village of Ashcroft has one position available in the Parks Department for the summer months. This position is a union position, or QP Local 900, and will start immediately and continue to Labor Day, and will be for 40 hours per week at $21.07 per hour. This position will be of interest to anyone enjoying outdoor work. As the successful candidate will be working in public facilities, he or she should be comfortable dealing with people and be prepared to answer general questions. Applicants must also hold a valid Class 5 driver's license, and duties include all aspects of park maintenance as well as occasional janitorial duties. The position is designed for a student who will be returning to a post-secondary institution in the fall. The village is an equal opportunity employment, and this position is open to both male and female applicants. Interested parties are invited to submit their resumes to the following address by 4 p.m. on Friday, June 24th, and of course that is to the village office. So those applicants not contacted by June 30th are thanked for their interest as well. So if you're looking for a job, Ashcroft is currently hiring. So in Cache Creek though, even though there can't be a Graffiti Day show and shine, they can still have some fun on Saturday morning. The gang will be out cruising the streets of Cache Creek and Ashcroft. The cruise begins at 10 a.m. at the Info Center in Cache Creek and then moves to Ashcroft about 10:30. Come on out to watch the cruise go by and get some pictures. So that is, of course, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. in Cache Creek and 10:30 in Ashcroft. You can find the route on the Graffiti Days Facebook page. And there, it looks like they're driving mostly all around Ashcroft and only in certain places in Cache Creek. So check that out if you want to make sure to be able to get pictures of the classic cars that are in our area. And if you are concerned about paying your property taxes this year, the province offers a deferment payment. You can apply directly to the province. Please note taxes must be up to date to take advantage of that. So if you are behind on this year's current taxes, you can get a deferment program through the province. But again, you have to have your taxes up to date. Now, Brad, this has been pretty busy. I got a couple things to talk about with our MP for the area. So he sent out a thing for everybody in the mail. So I'm just going to talk about this a little bit. Dear constituents, we are living through a unique time in the history of our nation. According to the Parliamentary Budget Officer, the Government of Canada is spending an unprecedented amount of taxpayer funds without an overall economic plan. Our domestic food supply chain faces new challenges, and global supply chains are also being strained. Millions of Canadians have lost their jobs and do not know when they'll return to work. Your opinion matters. Please complete this survey to help me stand up for you in Ottawa. Your feedback will help inform our recovery plan. So the questions that he asks include assistance for individuals. So this is a ticky box survey. So temporary wage top-up for low-income essential workers, Canada Emergency Response Benefit, Canada Emergency Student Benefit. So if you have taken advantage of one or all of those things, you can tick off all of those boxes. And also assistance for businesses. They're wondering if you have taken advantage of the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy, Business Credit Availability Program, and the Canada Emergency Commercial Rent Assistance Program. So if you haven't gotten one of these, give Brad Viss a call. What's his number here? Does he have it on? No, he doesn't. But you can find him on Facebook or Twitter. He is very open to taking phone calls. So check him out, fill out the survey, let him know what you've been able to come up with during COVID, and let him help you have your voice in Ottawa. Now he is going back to Ottawa, I believe, starting on the 22nd, I want to say, if not next week right away. So good luck to Brad in taking care of our issues across the country. Now, he also says on his Facebook page, the COVID-19 pandemic has made clear to us just how crucial a reliable internet connection is for everyone. But what it has also highlighted is the critical lack of access that exists for Canadians who live in rural and remote parts of our country. So he did a live stream talk with a few other people. And that was a big topic that they covered. So if you want to see the rest of that, you can go to his Facebook page and watch the live streams that he's been doing with other people that belong in Parliament. These are his, what's the word I'm looking for? Committees that he is a part of get together and they do these videos. So it's pretty interesting if you're into that sort of thing. Now, Jackie Taggart says, you are here. Together, we have done an incredible job working together to support each other, spread love and positivity, and flatten the curve towards beating COVID-19. A massive thank you to our healthcare workers and essential workers. Your bravery, sacrifices, and tenacity will never be forgotten. We are forever appreciative of you, and thank you for everything you've done. It hasn't been easy to stay apart from family and friends, change from shaking hands and hugging and waving and not change from shaking hands and hugging to waving and nodding and adapt to the new normal. So you are here. We have made it this far. The curve is flattening and BC is reopening. I urge you to continue physical distancing, washing your hands frequently, limiting your travel to your local area, and keeping your gatherings essential and small. We will make it through this together. Hashtag stand together 6 feet apart. That is from our MLA, Jackie Taggart. And if you want to see an interview that we did with her just a few weeks ago, you can check out our YouTube channel. She has a lot of really good stuff to say, so check that out. Interior Health has a thing saying, not only are we going through COVID-19, but we are still trying to manage the opioid pandemic. So Interior Health shared some information about a new app to try and help people with drug addiction. So how the app helps people is called the Lifeguard app and supports people who are in the highest risk of overdose death, people who use substances alone. 90% of overdose deaths happen when people who use drugs are alone, but by the time someone is found by family or friends and emergency responders arrive, it's often too late to save their life. This app empowers people who use drugs to take charge of their health and helps them to survive accidental overdose. App users can access treatment options quickly and easily directly through the app. This means that users can remain safer until they are ready to start their journey to recovery. How it works. When someone is about to use, especially alone, they can open the app and record the type of substance they are using and confirm their location. The app will hold this information and a timer is set, which can be paused or extended by the app user at any time. As the timer ends, the app will sound an alarm, flash a light, and vibrate. The user must hit a button to stop the alarm and indicate that they are fine. If they are unable to stop the alarm, a text-to-voice call will go straight to 911. This alerts emergency medical dispatchers of a possible overdose. It may save someone's life if they become unconscious or unable to function when using alone. The app can be used anywhere there is data or Wi-Fi, and the Province Health Services Authority, BC Emergency Health Services, health authorities, and the Overdose Emergency Response Centre have been working closely with Lifeguard Digital Health to make the app available to British Columbians during the past 2 years. They have been tested and piloted. The app is in controlled environments. So if you have someone that you know that uses drugs, it is safest to use with a friend or access overdose prevention services and supervised consumption sites if they are available. If you suspect an overdose, call 911 right away. And that's actually a really cool thing, very intuitive. They're saying that the opioid pandemic has been going on for many, many years now and is now running concurrent with coronavirus, but we can't forget about the people that are looking for help. So that is great news. From the province, John Horgan did a press conference the other day. The government has passed an order that will halt all litigation moving forward for provincial sports teams, including lacrosse. And what I mean by that is they're trying to get sports teams back out there, and this includes everything from minor to major sporting events. But insurance companies won't cover events or teams for COVID. So what the province has done is they've stopped any litigation against a specific team if there is a COVID outbreak. So if someone goes and does the game and people at the game get sick and that person brings it home, you can't sue the team. You're sort of playing at your own risk. Other things that he talked about, he mainly talked about sports and film. So he spoke again about the possibility of hosting this year's NHL season in Vancouver and across the province. So that would be pretty interesting, kind of like how we had the Olympics like 10 years ago. All the teams would come here, stay here, and they would play in various cities across BC, but there would be nobody allowed in the arena to watch. So everybody would be watching from home anyway, but he's hoping that we can host all of the games and bring that revenue to the restaurants and stuff as people are trying to get back out instead of having to physically distance. So that is interesting. Also, the local film and television industry is looking at getting started up again, and it would have a 14-day quarantine for anyone that is coming in from other countries. So if like a director's coming in from LA, that director would have to quarantine for 14 days since he's coming in from the States. But BC has a very large film industry pool of people to draw from. So it'll be, and being a person that has worked in the industry myself, it'll be great to see how all of that starts back up. And you can go to the Government of BC's Facebook page and participate in, actually right now there is a virtual town hall on anti-racism in BC. That is today and on the Government of BC's Facebook page. And on June 17th, if you're interested, BC's Small Business and COVID-19 Virtual Town Hall is next Wednesday at 3 p.m. So join those events if you are in a small business or if you're right now interested in anti-racism in BC. Check those out and let us know if you watch those. Let us know what your thoughts are. I might try and pick up on the small business one next week since I'm clearly doing this and not able to participate in the anti-racism one. Now, some other things of interest. Talking about racism. In an interview with Global News, RCMP Commissioner Brenda Lucki says while she believes there is an unconscious bias among members in the police force, she is struggling with the definition of systemic racism and how that applies to the institution of the National Police Force. In an interview with the West Block's Mercedes Stephenson on Wednesday, Lucki was asked about the surge in anti-racism protests around the world and in response to the outrage and horror at the death of George Floyd, who died after being pinned under the knee of a Minnesota police officer. She goes on to say that she thinks that there are problems for sure and some things need to change. Respect shouldn't be demanded, respect should be earned. But she doesn't believe that with her understanding of systemic racism, she does not believe that every officer is racist. Each situation should be looked at individually. She says that there are over 3 million RCMP calls a year and 99.9% of them are nonviolent calls. When asked about defunding the police, she says that she supports working closer with other suggested agencies and maybe even embed social workers with police officers. But those decisions should take place, but did not specifically say one way or another in regards to defunding. Now, another thing that's going on today is the Desert Sands Community School graduation parade and video tonight. So if you are a graduate, you are in Cache Creek, I believe it is at 6, is it at 6:30 or 7?
5:30.
Sorry, 5:30 in Cache Creek. So the grads will be standing on the road and you can drive by the grads as they wave to you. Kind of like, they're calling it a reverse parade. And then it'll be at 7 o'clock in Ashcroft.
6:30.
No, it's they get there at 6:30, but they start at 7.
The reverse, so the grad standing and you driving is at 6:30, and the grad driving and you waving is at 7.
Why would they do it both ways?
Because the pretty dresses can't be seen in the car.
Anyway, so they're doing 4 parades then. One where they stand on the side of the road, you drive by them, and then they get in their cars and they drive by you. So that'll be 5:30 in Cache Creek, 6:30 in Ashcroft. Make sure to check that out. And then at 9 o'clock tonight, there is a drive-in, mainly for the grads and their families. Only for the grads and their families. That is up at Tim Hortons. But we will be playing the video, or we'll have it up on our YouTube channel tomorrow, on our Hub Online Network YouTube channel. What else do we got? So talking about Cache Creek, we have an evacuation alert rescinded. So please be advised that all evacuation alerts for all properties within the boundaries of Cache Creek are rescinded as of 0900 hours, June 9th, 2020. The Village of Cache Creek staff will continue to monitor river levels to ensure the safety of all residents. Banks continue to be highly saturated and unstable, so stay well back and keep pets and children at least 10 feet back from the banks. So that is awesome news. That means that I'm no longer on evacuation alert. Now, the museum in Ashcroft is open as of, I believe, the beginning of this week. Beginning of next week, I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm so glad Jessica's here to correct me. Please do not visit the museum if you have experienced any of these symptoms in the last 10 days: fever, chills, new or worsening cough, shortness of breath, sore throat, and new muscle aches or headaches. Visitors will be required to wear masks. If you do not have one, we will provide one for you. Use hand sanitizer upon entrance, provided for you inside. Follow arrows in a one-way only direction. Maintain required distance of 2 meters or 6 feet. And refrain from touching artifacts. Further information: no public washroom will be on site. Children 12 and under must be accompanied by an adult. We have small spaces in the museum. If you find the front door is locked, it is because we are temporarily at capacity. This door will be open as soon as more space is available. Entrance is by donation. You will find a donation box to your left when you enter. We will not be handling cash, so no change will be given, and there will be no souvenirs or books being sold at this time. Staff will be frequently cleaning commonly touched surfaces such as stairs, rails, display cases, etc. And please use the automatic door button on the left side of the door with your elbow or knee to enter or exit the museum. Thank you for your patience and understanding, the Ashcroft Museum staff. So that is awesome. Things are starting to open up, especially in Ashcroft. So that's really good to hear. Now, a new thing has come out about daycare and things of that sort for next year. So full-time and part-time childcare begins September 8th. So one, childcare Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The day rate is $40 and full-time monthly rate is $500. Part-time with early learning focus Monday to Friday, 9 to 11:30. 3 days a week is $75 a month and 4 days a week is $100 a month. Before and after school care, Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. is $5 a day, and Monday to Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. is also $5 a day. So Ashcroft Early Learning Program, located at Desert Sands Community School, is proud to offer quality child care and early learning experiences for children. The pilot program is supported by the Board of Education of School District Number 74, and registration packages can be found at SD 74. So that is awesome news. Now we're going to talk about the council meetings. So in Ashcroft, everything was pretty standard. It was a fairly quick meeting. I think it was about 15 minutes long. And of course, you can watch all of the Ashcroft and Cache Creek Council meetings on our YouTube channel. We have been filming them for about 9 months now, 9 or 10 months now. So we have a pretty significant library of videos that you can check out. Some of the major things that they sort of talked about was they have sent in their statement of financial information to the government. They were not required to do this until August 31st, but since it's already done, they decided to just send it in. So that's good for them for staying ahead. They have a new social media policy and, of course, a new person handling their social media in Ashcroft. Again, her name is Amy O'Rourke. She is an intern for the Village of Ashcroft, so welcome Amy to the job. They talked about the reopening of village facilities such as the museum and the pool. There are now disposal fees back in place for household garbage up at the landfill. And that is really all the big stuff. I'll have a more in-depth, I keep saying I'm going to do this, but I would like to have a more in-depth look at what is going on at both of our councils. So maybe on my every other week, so every off week from the council meetings, I'll do that. So that is all the big stuff from the Ashcroft Council. And then the Cache Creek Council happened. So let's get into that a little bit. It was pretty interesting. If you're going to watch a council meeting, I'll definitely watch this one. It was all pretty standard until they started talking about economic development. So one of the big things was the 2020 Economic Development Capacity Building Grant, which was passed, and it's in regards to cannabis and hemp readiness and waste. So that was great. They're trying to do a thing where they put in $25,000 or $50,000 and they get a grant for another $50,000. But the way that this would work is NDIT gives $50,000, the village puts in $50,000, and a society takes that money over, and then nonprofit groups can take that money out. So the money would go into the bank, and the nonprofit groups would have access to the interest that $100,000 creates. Currently, as we found out, there are no nonprofit charities, in Cache Creek. So we're going to do a little bit more digging on this and see who would actually be eligible for this money if this was to happen. But it is something that the council has voted yes on, and the money would come out of the landfill legacy fund of the $50,000. Now they have not applied for the grant yet, but they're looking at doing that relatively soon. Then Mayor Tallarico had to step out. He had to recuse himself for the next few things. So Councillor Pittman asked a few questions in the council meeting in regards to the 2020 flood response costs, the amounts paid to TW Dynamics and IBEX, and costs related to the berm removal. So for the 2020 flood response costs, Councillor Pittman had requested the total cost paid out for flood response so far this year. CFO Martini is in the process of compiling and filing claims as the village is still in the response stage of the 2020 FreshNet. All costs so far incurred in the claimable, there's a lot of acronyms here. The information will be approved to council when it is available. So they still don't know how much all of the flooding has costed the village, despite the fact that they have been in a state of emergency, which gives them access to more provincial funds. But then it came down to the amounts paid to TW Dynamics and IBEX. So Councillor Pittman has requested total amounts paid to TW Dynamics and IBEX. This information is required to be included in the annual report under council remuneration, expenses, and contracts as per section 168 of the Community Charter, and as such will be available prior to August 31st when the annual report is due. Now the reason that she brought this up is because both of those businesses are either his business or his son's business, and this is Mayor Tallarico's. And when it was brought up, Councillor Peters and CFO Martini spoke up and said that there was no conflict of interest. When they were looking to hire both of these companies, they phoned 4 or 5 other companies first, and then TW Dynamics and IBEX were the only companies that said yes, they would do it. Ipso facto, they were the ones that were chosen to come in and do all the riprap placing and rock placing when the flooding was taking place. And there was a little bit of back and forth about why Councillor Pittman was talking about the conflict of interest statutes. So anyway, if I was you and that's something that you were concerned about, because Councillor Pittman did say that there were many people that were concerned about this, go watch the video, check out what both sides had to say, and go from there. So really that was the big thing that happened on Monday's council meetings. And yeah, so that's really all of the big things that I have for our show today. I'm just going to make sure that I've covered all of my stuff here. Oh, no, I got one more. Talking about the village of Cache Creek. So the Cache Creek Village office will reopen to the public on Thursday, June 11th, 2020, with a few changes in place for the safety of staff and customers. Please only use the front door. One side of the stairs is marked as an entrance and the other side as an exit. One person will be permitted in the office at a time. Please do not come into the office if someone is already at the counter. Wait until they leave before you come in. If you require the ramp, which is at the back door, please call ahead so we know to expect someone at the back door so that it is not locked. Public washrooms will not be available, and there is plexiglass screen at the front counter, and access will be limited to directly inside the door. Hand sanitizers is available. Services will be wiped down. Pin pads and door handles will be sanitized between customers. Please respect physical distancing protocols and help us to keep everyone safe. So that is good news to hear that the Cache Creek Village office is reopening. And that, again, is all I got today. So have yourselves a safe weekend. To all the grads, congratulations to you. We'll see you tonight. And yeah, so stay safe. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your graffiti days. Oh, what's the Jackson House one? Sorry.
Sunday at 1.
So wave
Between 1 and 2.
Wave to Jackson House residents and caregivers at 1 p.m. on Sunday. I'm sorry I forgot about that one. So that is pretty interesting. There's lots of parades happening this weekend, so make sure that your cars are gassed up and get out there and take part. And yeah, anyway, stay safe. We'll see you guys Monday at 3 p.m. We'll see you there.